What's going on, drivers? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper, and I am your boy. I'm Old Snapper. We're going to get into something here a little bit controversial. We're going to be talking about being paid by the hour, and I'm going to talk about it from an OTR perspective. All right, but before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, show some love. I really appreciate it. It helps the video out, helps me out, and I really appreciate that a lot. Now, if you're not new here, you know very well that I just speak my mind and give my opinion on things, right? You got different kinds of creators on YouTube, and it's not just in trucking, it's all across YouTube. And a vast majority of the people on YouTube try to say what they think the viewers are going to like all the time, and they try to keep it there all the time. And yes, that does make them successful, but I don't work that way. I just don't function that way. And I'll say this up front, just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't be friends. It doesn't mean that I dislike you or anything like that. We just won't agree. Then you'll know, if you're new here, you'll see in the comments, there's some guys been watching me a long time. Sometimes they agree with what I have to say. Sometimes they don't. And the same way that I always put my opinion out there, I don't just try to agree with everybody, the vast majority of people. I'd like, if you comment on a video, that you're honest about what you got. If you disagree. I might comment on it and argue back and forth with you, but hey, it's just what it is. It's me getting your perspective, it's you getting my perspective, and that's how we grow, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So let's get off into this video. I'm going to tell you from the jump, I'm against OTR being paid hourly, okay? Now, I'll tell you why here in a minute, but I wanted to put that right up front, all right? That's how I feel. And I say OTR because if you're local, when I was local, I got paid by the hour, and I would much rather be paid by the hour local than by the mile. When you're making stops all day long, or you're running these little short runs where you might get 150 miles or 200 miles for the whole day when you're local. You're not going to make any money if you're being paid by the hour or by the mile. So being local very much needs either a daily rate or an hourly rate. I don't even really care for a load rate on local runs, because it just depends on the situation, right? I know some guys run on a load rate and make really decent money, but it really just depends on what you're doing. But hourly works really well when you're local. Here's the problem when it comes into OTR. If you take what I make per mile, I make 70 cents per mile. And it's been a little while since I've done the math. I will link a video down in the description and pin it to where I took one of my paychecks and broke it down to what I made per hour for every hour I worked that week. And I actually compared it to an hourly job that I had at one time before. So I actually compared it and to see which way it would come out where I made more money. And I made more money being paid cent per mile than I did being paid hourly. That video will be linked down below, and I'm not even going to get into discussing that part of it. I mean, I've proven that in 2 different videos actually, but I'll link one of them down below in case you haven't seen it. There's something else that goes with hourly pay that I think a lot of drivers are not really thinking about. And I'm going to get into that aspect of it, and it's another reason that I'm against OTR being paid by the hour. Now, out here, OTR, I pretty much do whatever I want, right? As long as that load gets picked up on time and delivered on time, I do whatever the heck I want. I run my days how I want. I run my shift how I want. I do everything exactly how I want. It's as close as I can get to owning a company without owning a company. I run my day, right? That's basically the way we all do it. Pick up on time, deliver on time. Here's the thing, though. When you change over to hourly, and I think a lot of drivers have been out here too long, they've forgotten what it's like to work an hourly job when you're being paid hourly. When you're being paid hourly, the company wants to maximize your production for every hour they are paying for, correct? So they might tell you, hey, don't run that load till tonight. And we want you to run that load tonight because you got to go through Chicago. and you're going to be able to go through Chicago faster at night than you are during the day. And we're paying you by the hour. And since we're paying you by the hour, you're on our time. That means we control your truck. We tell you how you're going to run it. And as long as they're not violating the law within the log, they can do that. You know, you run into those kind of situations. I don't want to deal with that. Pay me by the mile. Let me run my days. You know, that's just one problem with that. Here's another problem that comes in with it. You're getting paid by the hour, which means you're going to get paid for on-duty time and all that stuff, right? That means your pre-trips and post-trips, mid-trips if you're running flatbed or whatever, you're going to get paid for that, right? You better not miss nothing. You better not miss a thing. See, like right now, you pull off into a scale house, they find something wrong on your truck. Company might get onto you a little bit, maybe, you know, but most of the time the company doesn't say much. You know, depending on how bad it was, whatever it was you missed, right? But most of the time, they don't really say much. You know, they might. Some companies I've worked for have incentives for you not to get a ticket. You know, so if you go through the scale house and nothing happens, maybe they pay you $100 or they pay you $75. You know, it's kind of your incentive to make sure your truck and trailer and everything is good if you get inspected. Some companies do that and some companies don't. But let's imagine you're being paid by the hour. Now remember, you got paid for that pre-trip you did. You do a pre-trip, you kind of kick your tires and do your thing like most people do. Crack the hood, maybe check your oil, all that kind of stuff, right? Most people don't do a full pre-trip. It's a little over 100 items you got to check on a full pre-trip. Most people don't do that. They're not climbing up under their truck. I very rarely see anybody in a truck stop climb up under their truck. Now, you get pulled off into that scale house 20 miles down the road and you get inspected. They're going to climb off under your truck. They're going to pull you in a bay. They're going to get down underneath your truck and trailer. They're going to go where you haven't gone and check that truck. They find violation wrong with your truck. You report it to your company. Company says, whoa, hey, wait a minute. We paid you to do that pre-trip and you didn't do that pre-trip. We paid you by the hour for that on-duty time that you logged for doing that pre-trip and you didn't do your job. You follow where I'm going with this? Now you're encountering a whole nother problem. You may lose your job. You know, it gives companies may start penalizing you. You know, there's all kinds of things you step off into. See, right now, getting paid by the mile, yeah, doing your pre-trip and post-trip is part of your job. I do mine. Everybody should do theirs, right? But when you get a ticket, they know, like, hey, you didn't really technically get paid for doing that pre-trip or that post-trip. With most companies, there are a few companies out here that pay you to do them. But with most companies, you didn't technically get paid. And I think that's why these companies a lot of times are like, yeah, you know, it's nothing major. You missed that light or whatever the case may be. Maybe you had an air leak up under the truck you just didn't see or hear. You know, so we're going to overlook that a little bit. You know, just try to do a better job next time. But when you're getting paid by the hour, it ain't going to be like that. You're going to have a different environment that you encounter whenever you talk to the office and let them know, hey, I got a ticket because I had an air leak under my truck. Really? You didn't catch it. So you didn't do your pre-trip. So you logged it, got paid for something you didn't do. You see what I'm saying? I don't think people are taking every angle to that into consideration when they say, well, we should be paid by the hour. I don't think you're taking that into full consideration. Being paid by the mile, you can pretty much do what you want and run your days. You start getting paid by the hour, you put yourself in position of a company that's paying your driver by the hour. You're going to want as much production as you can get out of that truck, and you're going to want to make sure they're doing their job 100% properly because you're paying them to do that job. You're going to start seeing trucks out here with creepers on them so they can get up under their truck and trailer and slide under them like DOT does, you know, so they don't lose their job because they're being paid by the hour to do that pre-trip. You see what I'm saying? There's other reasons besides my point of view on pay as to why I don't like the idea of an OTR driver. Now I say that in quotations. An OTR driver being paid by the mile. Get paid percentage, get paid by the load, get paid cent per mile, whatever. But I'm totally against hourly pay for an OTR driver. I'm just not for it. I'm not with it. And that's the reasons, along with the pay. I think the pay would be much lower, along with the pay, as to why I'm against being paid by the hour. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there. I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on the situation. I know it's a big topic here lately, so I'd like y'all to hop down in the comments below and let me know what y'all think. Let me know what your opinions are. Even if you disagree, let me know, and let me know why you disagree. What you think it would really be like being paid by the hour. Also, if you're for an hourly pay and you want to comment that you're for an hourly pay, all I ask is that you put how much per hour you think a truck driver should make. If a truck driver's being paid by the hour, how much per hour do you think a truck driver should make? And I encourage y'all to go check out my video on hourly pay versus cent per mile. Y'all take care, stay safe, and keep trucking.